Jerusalem, a city steeped in history and revered by diverse religious and ethnic communities, remains a timeless battleground. In the midst of current unrest, the Jewish community has undertaken the ambitious task of rebuilding the Third Temple. This development has ignited excitement among believers worldwide as they anticipate its profound implications for their faith. However, the recent Hamas-Israel conflict is just one of the many challenges that lie ahead. The question remains, will Muslims permit the reconstruction of the Third Temple upon the site of the Dome of the Rock? What just happened in Israel that has stunned the whole world? Join us as we unravel these mysteries together. Israel and Palestine, two perpetually warring Middle Eastern countries, share the same capital city, showcasing the enduring conflict that has plagued the region for centuries. While some historians argue that Israel has a legitimate claim to Jerusalem based on its historical and religious significance, others assert that Palestine should have ownership of the city due to its predominantly Arab population and its status as an integral part of their national identity. The area has witnessed generations of tension, but recently what just happened in Israel stunned the whole world, which is terrifying to imagine as the Israelis-Hamas is currently ongoing in the region. Before we delve into these recent developments in Israel, and why most Jews refer to it as being a fulfillment of an Old Testament prophecy, it is important to understand the profound significance of Jerusalem. Jerusalem is not only one of the oldest cities in the world, but also holds great history and significance. The city of Jerusalem, which is located in the eastern Mediterranean region, has been a center of religious, political, and cultural importance for thousands of years. The city's history is deeply intertwined with the histories of major religions like Judaism, Islam, and Christianity, and this makes it a sacred place for followers of these religions. In Judaism, Jerusalem is considered the holiest city and the spiritual capital of the Jewish people. The significance of Jerusalem in Jewish history dates all the way back to biblical times. According to Jewish history, it was in Jerusalem that King Solomon built the first temple in the 10th century BCE, which became a major center of Jewish worship. The city also holds great importance as the Western Wall, which is also known as the Wailing Wall, is found in Jerusalem. The Western Wall is a remnant of the Second Temple destroyed by the Romans in 70 CE. This wall holds significant importance as it is the only thing left of the previous Jewish temple. Till today, the Western Wall remains a significant place of prayer and pilgrimage for Jews worldwide. Jerusalem holds deep significance for Christians, as it is intertwined with the life, crucifixion, and resurrection of Jesus Christ. It was in Jerusalem where Jesus made his triumphant entry on Palm Sunday, where the Last Supper was shared, and where the crucifixion and resurrection transpired. One sacred place for Christians is the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, located in the Old City of Jerusalem. This church is believed by many to be the very location where Jesus was crucified, buried, and ultimately rose from the dead. As you explore Jerusalem, you'll discover a multitude of other Christian sites that attract visitors from all corners of the world. Christian support for the Jewish claim to the Temple Mount is rooted in historical and religious factors. Many Christians view Jerusalem as a sacred city with deep biblical significance. They believe that the Temple Mount, as the site of the ancient Jewish temples, holds religious importance for Jews. For Muslims, Jerusalem holds significant religious importance as the third holiest city after Mecca and Medina. According to Islamic tradition, the Prophet Muhammad made a miraculous night journey from Mecca to Jerusalem, known as the Isra and Miraj. The Al-Aqsa Mosque, located on the Temple Mount in Jerusalem, is believed to be the place from where Muhammad ascended to heaven. The Dome of the Rock, also situated on the Temple Mount, is an iconic Islamic shrine built in the 7th century and is considered one of the oldest extant Islamic structures. Our primary source of information about Israel stems from the Hebrew Bible, which traces Israel's origins back to the revered figure of Father Abraham. Abraham holds the esteemed status of being the patriarch for both Judaism and Islam. Through his lineage, his second son Isaac became the founding father of the Jewish faith, while Ishmael, his first son, built the Islamic faith. Many years later, the Jews were enslaved by Egyptians as a consequence of their disobedience to God. After 400 years of slavery, Moses emerged as their leader, guiding them out of Egypt and eventually leading them to the land of Canaan, which is current-day Israel. Upon settling in Israel, the Israelites believed it was time for them to have a king. They prayed to God, and their request was granted. Saul became the first king of Israel around 10,000 BCE. However, Saul proved to be an inadequate ruler, and he was succeeded by David. During David's reign, Jerusalem was proclaimed the capital of Israel, and after thousands of years, this decision contributes to the controversy surrounding Jerusalem to this day. Following the passing of King David, his son Solomon ascended the throne. Under his rule, the first Jewish temple was constructed according to God's instructions. This temple was situated 3 miles away from the Temple Mount. However, after Solomon's reign, Israel underwent a division, transforming from a united kingdom into two separate regions. The southern region became known as Israel, while the northern region was called Judah. Despite an initial period of stability, the Assyrians invaded northern Israel in 722 BC, resulting in the dispersion of the Jews. Subsequently, in 568 BC, the Babylonians conquered the kingdom of Judah, leading to the destruction of Solomon's temple and the beginning of the Babylonian exile for the children of Israel. A couple of years after the exile, the Israelites gained their freedom when the Persians conquered Babylon. This marked an important decree permitting the Israelites to return and rebuild their temple, and with great joy, the second temple was constructed in Jerusalem by the 1st century CE. But this joy did not last for long. During the Jewish-Roman War, the Romans, which were the prevailing world power at the time, destroyed the second temple. The nation of Israel has undoubtedly endured significant trials, from the constant destruction of its temples to the horrors of the Holocaust. But despite these hardships, Israel has risen as one of the world's superpowers. Given a land that was 80% desert, they have transformed it into a fertile territory that is popularly known for its large fruit exports. Today, Israel boasts a thriving economy, a robust tech industry, and a formidable army. Now, having firmly established themselves, Israel has once again turned its attention to Jerusalem, with plans to construct their third temple. While some argue that the third temple symbolizes modern-day Christianity, many others disagree. Various religious prophecies and beliefs revolve around the rebuilding of the third temple, attributing it with roles such as heralding the return of the Messiah. Different religious traditions perceive the construction of the third temple as a crucial step in fulfilling prophecies concerning the end times and the arrival of the Messiah. In Jewish eschatology, believers consider the rebuilding of the temple as a prerequisite for the Messianic age, a period characterized by peace and spiritual enlightenment. They hold the hope that the third temple will serve as a focal point for divine presence and worship, restoring a state of harmony between God and humanity. Likewise, certain Christian interpretations link the rebuilding of the third temple to the anticipated return of Jesus Christ. These interpretations draw upon biblical passages, such as references to a future temple found in the book of Ezekiel and the book of Revelation. Why is the new temple so important? What is threatening the building of the new Jewish temple? The temple, particularly the first and second temples of ancient Jerusalem, occupies a central and revered place in Jewish history and religious devotion. This rich historical and spiritual heritage resonates deeply within the Jewish community, shaping their beliefs and hopes for the future. It is important to understand the profound significance of the temple and the challenges it faces in the quest for a new one. The first temple was a magnificent structure that served as the focal point of Jewish worship, and even more significantly, as the earthly abode of God's presence, known as the Shekinah. Jewish tradition teaches that the divine presence resided within the Holy of Holies, the innermost chamber of the temple, making it a sacred sanctuary. The destruction of this first temple was a grievous event in Jewish history, a calamity that would lead to the Babylonian exile. The second temple, built after the Babylonian exile, became a cornerstone of Jewish worship and religious rituals. It was a testament to the resilience and faith of the Jewish people, who returned from exile to rebuild their sacred site. The loss and reconstruction of the Second Temple signifies a crucial chapter in Jewish history. This Second Temple, while not as grand as its predecessor, played a vital role in Jewish religious life. However, the tragedy of the Second Temple's destruction, this time by the Romans, left a lasting impact on Jewish history and spirituality. Its ruins, known as the Western Wall or the Wailing Wall, are a poignant symbol of Jewish perseverance and devotion. The longing for a new temple, a third one, is not merely a desire for a grand architectural structure, but a profound spiritual aspiration. The concept of rebuilding the temple is deeply rooted in Jewish belief. For the Jewish faithful, the temple is not just a physical structure, but the earthly dwelling place of God's divine presence, a connection that transcends time and space. The Shekinah, residing in the Holy of Holies, represented a direct link between God and the Jewish people. Rebuilding the third temple is a way to restore this intimate connection, allowing the Jewish community to experience the divine presence once more. The significance of the temple's reconstruction also extends into the realm of messianic prophecies. In Jewish theology, the coming of the Messiah is closely associated with the rebuilding of the temple and the ultimate redemption of the Jewish people. The Messiah is believed to play a pivotal role in the restoration of the temple, ushering in a messianic era characterized by peace and harmony. Consequently, the temple's reconstruction is not merely a dream of the past, but a crucial step toward fulfilling these messianic prophecies. Moreover, the temple was the epicenter of Jewish worship, a place where various religious rituals and sacrifices were performed. Rebuilding the temple is seen as a means to reinstate these practices and to revive the proper observance of Jewish religious traditions. With the temple, the sacrifice sacrificial system and other rituals would be reinstated, enabling the full expression of Jewish worship. Beyond its religious and spiritual significance, the historical temple holds immense cultural value for the Jewish people. It is an integral part of their national and religious identity, a symbol of their endurance and continuity throughout history. Rebuilding the temple is a way to reaffirm and preserve Jewish heritage, traditions, and values. The prospect of a new Jewish temple in Jerusalem, however, is shrouded in complexities and challenges that have, thus far, prevented its realization. These challenges can be categorized into political, religious, and practical obstacles, and they must be carefully navigated to achieve this monumental goal. One of the most significant political challenges revolves around the status of Jerusalem. Both Israelis and Palestinians claim the city as their capital, and any attempts to rebuild the temple could exacerbate tensions and hinder peaceful negotiations. Jerusalem is a highly sensitive and contested issue on the international stage, with the global community closely monitoring developments in the city. Any unilateral decision or action taken by one side without consulting the other can have far-reaching political consequences, making the temple's reconstruction a politically charged endeavor. Practical challenges also pose formidable obstacles. The Temple Mount, the historical site where the previous temples once stood, is now home to two of the most significant Islamic holy sites, the Al-Aqsa Mosque and the Dome of the Rock. Any endeavor to rebuild the temple would require addressing issues related to ownership, access, and the delicate religious balance maintained on the Temple Mount. These practical concerns must be addressed while respecting the rights and sensitivities of other religious communities sharing the site. The archaeological aspect of rebuilding a temple on the Temple Mount should not be underestimated. The site is of immense historical and archaeological significance, with layers of history dating back thousands of years. Any construction on this site would need to navigate the preservation and study of ancient artifacts and structures. Balancing the need for a new temple with the historical value of the site requires careful consideration and expertise in archaeological preservation. To navigate these challenges, any effort to rebuild the temple must involve dialogue and collaboration among various political and religious authorities, including the international community. It is essential to find a way to balance the profound religious hopes and aspirations of the Jewish community with the complex political circumstances that surround the issue. This endeavor necessitates maintaining positive relationships between different faiths and communities, fostering understanding and cooperation. It is vital to recognize that views on the rebuilding of the temple and the significance placed on its physical reconstruction vary widely among individuals and Jewish communities. While some actively work towards this goal, others prioritize other aspects of Jewish faith and practice. What active steps are Jews taking to reclaim the Temple Mount? The journey toward the recovery of the Temple Mount has seen several significant steps taken by some within the Jewish community. These steps to a large extent reflect faith, historical research, agricultural efforts, training of priests, and adherence to religious traditions. While these actions are undertaken by a segment of the Jewish population, it is essential to remember that the views and priorities on this matter can differ widely among individuals and communities. The re-establishment of the Religious Jewish Council, known as the Sanhedrin, in 2004, marked a pivotal moment for those who support the rebuilding of the temple. The Sanhedrin, while not officially recognized by the Israeli government, serves as a platform for religious scholars and experts to engage in discussions and preparations related to the Third Temple. The Council's primary goal is to revive Jewish law and temple services, making it an active participant in initiatives related to the temple's reconstruction. This endeavor involves in-depth discussions and examinations of the religious, legal, and practical aspects of rebuilding the temple, all with the aim of bringing this cherished site back to life. An intriguing step taken toward the temple's reclamation is the recognition of Alaska as a Jewish ritual cleansing site, an assertion backed by archaeological findings. Researchers like British archaeologist Robert Hamilton have presented compelling evidence suggesting that Alaska was built on a site historically used for Jewish purification rituals, including a mikveh, ritual bath. This discovery has added weight to the argument in favor of rebuilding the temple, as it offers historical evidence linking the modern Jewish community to the practices associated with the temple. The recognition of Alaska as a ritual cleansing site adds depth to the connection between contemporary Jewish practices and the historical significance of the temple. Cultivating farms and forests is another critical step in temple preparations. The Sanhedrin has emphasized the importance of plants in temple rituals, particularly the offering of agricultural produce, to recreate the environmental conditions of ancient Israel and ensure the availability of specific agricultural offerings when the temple is rebuilt. Efforts have been made to cultivate specific crops and forests. This step aims to create an environment that aligns with the religious and cultural practices of the past, ensuring that the necessary elements for temple practices are readily available. A significant expression of faith is the training of more Kohanim or priests. The Kohanim, who are descendants of Aaron, play a pivotal role within the Jewish community and are indispensable for temple services. Despite the absence of an actual temple, efforts have been made to train Kohanim in the rituals, ceremonies, and usage of temple equipment. This training ensures that the knowledge and skills required for future temple services are preserved within the priestly class. Proponents of temple rebuilding believe that training the Kohanim is essential to maintain continuity in priestly traditions, and to be fully prepared for the resumption of temple practices when the time is right. The production of the red heifer stands as a paramount step in temple preparations. According to Jewish tradition, the ashes of a red heifer are essential for purification rituals before entering the temple. Red heifers are considered rare and must meet stringent criteria for purity and unblemished status. Consequently, dedicated efforts have been made to breed and raise red heifers that meet these requirements, employing specific animal husbandry techniques. The production of a suitable red heifer is a vital element for resuming temple practices, as it ensures that religious laws and traditions can be upheld through the necessary purification rituals. It is important to acknowledge the diversity of views within the Jewish community regarding these steps. While some individuals and groups actively engage in these preparations as part of their faith and commitment to temple rebuilding, others may hold different perspectives or prioritize alternative approaches to Jewish religious practice. The issue of the Third Jewish Temple and the Temple Mount elicits a range of international reactions, influenced by historical, political, and religious factors. Several countries, particularly those with strong ties to Israel or significant Jewish populations, express support for Jewish access to the Temple Mount and the potential construction of the Third Temple. They view it as a matter of religious freedom or support Israel's rights in the region. Interestingly, numerous countries, including some Arab and Muslim majority nations, advocate for maintaining the status quo arrangement on the Temple Mount. They emphasize the importance of preserving the delicate balance and avoiding any actions that could destabilize the region or hinder peace efforts. These countries express concerns about actions that might exacerbate tensions or impede Israeli-Palestinian peace negotiations. The ongoing conflict in the region, as seen in the recent attack on Israel, has introduced significant challenges and complexities to the prospects of a peaceful accord. The leadership of Israel has made a steadfast commitment to protecting the land they believe was given to them by God, and this commitment could have far-reaching implications for the potential for normalization deals with other countries, such as Saudi Arabia. The outcome remains uncertain, but many are confident that God is watching over his people involved and is in charge of the terrifying events across the world. What is your take on the situation in Israel? Please feel free to leave a comment and subscribe for more amazing content. Thanks for watching.
Want to know a little secret? If you smash the like button, subscribe, and click the notification bell, you'll have superpowers for the rest of your life. So what are you waiting for? Time to fly. You want to know a little secret? If you smash the like button, subscribe, and click the notification bell, you'll have superpowers for the rest of your life. So what are you waiting for? Time to fly.